What's going on, everyone? This is Sherry, and you are tuned into She Said What She Said, the podcast where we interview badass women in the sports world and beyond. And we are deep in the sports world tonight. Woo-hoo! I was gonna say all my Chicago folks know who this person is, but she's bounced around the country for a bit, so I know she got people in Seattle, Chicago, Dallas, and now Mississippi. So I don't want to go too hard with Chicago and get her beat up in the comment section or tackled at practice this week. But I have a co-host with the mostest, one of my besties in the whole wide world. And as we learned last week when Terrence asked, why are you friends with these people? Because they're insane and I love them. Miss Emma V.
Hey, can't
Hey.
believe it yet. I'm back.
Sparkle bitch.
Yes. Oh, there we go.
No, your head went the wrong. I know. I always do that. I'm like, this way. You gotta get the reverse.
There we go.
And I was telling Emma before the show. So a couple weeks ago, we had a professional bodybuilder, Miss Shauna, a 4-time Olympian. Emma saved her with the suit once, but she's in the off season, so her and I are planning to go get brunch and mimosas this weekend. Nice. She's in the off season and she can have mimosas, so that she'll probably be like 1 and she'll be out, done. Like you don't even.
She's not a small person, so she might be able to hold her own.
No, she was because she doesn't drink, so she was like 1, and it's like woo, party time.
All that muscle might,
right?
Soak it up.
Shoot. But we are not talking about the bodybuilding world tonight. We're not talking about the soccer world tonight. We're talking about your other sport, and this is one of your former teammates. We are going into the world of football. Woo-woo.
We call this the fake football, but in America, this is the football.
This is the football, and this ain't no fake football because this ain't no grabbing a flag. This chick plays the real football, the tackle, and not even like the little dress all cute like y'all do out there. No, she's in full pads with them bitches coming at her full speed. So, without further ado, she is a 3-time WNFC champion, but she has another championship from the other league. She is a league MVP, quarterback of the former Chicago Force team. See, I did it. I pointed the wrong way. And she has now gone to the Mississippi Panthers. So I think this team might be doing something this year. Let's bring her on in, Miss Rasan Gore.
Woo! What's up?
Hey.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Did I get all your titles in there? I think I might have missed one.
So the league that I have 3 championships in is the WNFC. So that's Women's National Football Conference. Mm-hmm. And the other league was the WFA, the Women's Football Alliance. So total 4 championships.
4.
Yeah.
And how many times have you been MVP?
3 times. So 15 and 16 back to back, and then 2019 as a running back. So 15 and 16 I was quarterback, and then 2019 was as a running back.
Oh, got a little multi-talent here.
Utility player right here. Literally can play any fucking position.
I was a utility player for the longest time, so it's been my life dream to play quarterback, and so that's why I'm here in Mississippi. Because I just want to do what my dream is and go out on my own accord, So I had to get back to it.
So you just joined Mississippi, so you live there now?
Yeah, for the season. I'm staying here for the season. I actually live in South Carolina, so my family's all in South Carolina, and
this girl's a nomad.
Right.
I'm a journeyman. I'm a journeyman, so it's like, yeah, I've been Seattle, Chicago, Dallas, and then I took a break in South Carolina, and then I came and I was a free agent, and I was like, I wanted to see what Mississippi had going on. So far it's been amazing.
Okay. Where in Mississippi is the team headquarters?
They're based out of Jackson. So I'm probably about 20 minutes south of Jackson, and our home field is called MRA. Still kind of learning my way around, so
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And English Bennett says she came to the right team.
That's my girl. That's my girl E.
She looked like she a bodybuilder too.
Oh yeah,
Got a bodybuilder photo.
Right?
yeah.
Hey, girl.
Man, you got to check her out, man.
Right. We about to go look you up.
She's a football player now, though. Like,
Okay. Okay.
I love she's a strong runner. Like, she reminds me of Adrian Peterson, the way she runs.
Okay.
And her build and everything. So yeah, shout out to E.
Terrence said you in the sticks.
Heard of
That's
her.
rude, Terrence. She's not in the sticks. She's 20 minutes from the capital. Maybe.
And where's he? Is he from Chicago?
Yeah, he's from Chicago.
Oh yeah.
That's the head of our network. And our guy Frank from our Tuesday night show saying what's up. What up, Frank? Frank the Tank. Frank.
Thank you. Thank you.
To the guys here. But yeah, so you came Mississippi. When does the season start?
April 1st. So the first, it's like that across the whole like every single league that I played in. It's always been the first week of April. So we actually are going to be heading back to my former team's house, and the first game, the first week 1 is versus the Texas Elite Spartans.
Really?
Yeah, we're playing the defending champs. It's a big. It already has playoff implications, because if you have one loss in this league, because we only have 6 games, you're bumped down to the 2nd seed, and so we have 3 divisions. The first seed goes east for their playoffs, and the 2nd seed goes west for like traveling, as far as that goes. So it's gonna be interesting to see how that plays out.
Okay. So six games. How many is it? Like 3 games a month, 2 games a month? When does season playoffs start?
Oh, they're back to back. So
they're back to back. So y'all just go.
Yeah, it's just we play by NCAA rules. Basically, it's structured like the NFL, where we play weekly, or like just regular football 11s, and then we have like a bye week. And then where it gets interesting is our playoff. We do like a jamboree almost. Like we have 2 games in 3 days, like a weekend, basically, which is really tough, especially it being tackle. So that's why it's such a big deal, who wins out, who's undefeated.
Got it.
The seeding, basically. So I know last year we went for the Atlantic Conference division. We went to Florida. We played out there, and we had a game on Friday and then a game on Sunday, I think it was, or Thursday and Saturday, I think it was, how they had it. Yeah, so it's tough, but it saves us on cost as far as traveling goes, because then you don't have to go back and travel the next week to play the round. So, yeah.
Dang. And then you want to play 2 games back to back?
Not this moment.
Right.
Canceled, so I'm up here like.
I'm like, wow. Like, I know I'm tired after a sore work or a long hard workout. I need a couple of days.
Right.
So 2 days later, you gotta hit a bitch again, or have them try to hit you. Yikes.
Yeah, and it's it's definitely where like depth comes into play.
So how many are on the roster?
I think right now we got like at least 50, and we've got people.
Okay.
Yeah, we got more people coming too. So I've been noticing that across our league is like, basically the recruitment has gone up. I mean, I feel like Denver has like 1,000 players right now.
Like 5 Chicago girls go to Denver.
Yeah, so I know Kelly's there, Nisi's there,
Jade is there.
Jade, who's Jade?
I don't know Jade. Jade plays on the Blitz with me. She's there.
Oh, so they just fly out. They're on the team, but they just fly out for the games.
Yeah, pretty much.
And I thought Kelly was playing quarterback for Denver. So, I mean,
I don't know. I haven't talked to her. So
we were just at nationals together. She said she's playing quarterback for them. So, I mean, I know that's kind of I didn't want to be in a situation to where I was just traveling for games, because I know time that you got to have timing and chemistry for offense to work. So that's why I wanted to like relocate and be here so that I could be locked in. So, I think that'd be So.
Well, Jamie Locke says, speaking of lock in, says Mississippi is where it's at. So, hey.
She is what she is, man. She's a lockdown corner, too. Shout out to Jamie.
Because she said, let's talk about the Panthers.
Mm-hmm.
And Deanna's just saying, hey, ladies, because I know that was your...
What up, Sticks?
She a lock. But yeah, so what was it about, because you had previously played with, well, obviously, the Chicago Force team is no longer, that team retired, Texas before, and now Mississippi, you said you were a free agent. What was it as far as choosing a team, which team, what made you go to Mississippi?
So when we played them last year, they played us the toughest, and my whole thing was, I went to Texas to play quarterback, and I really was just never given that opportunity. And so it started, I was patient. There was a couple off years where, COVID hit. So the season was canceled. And then 21, I was hurt. So when I came back in 2022, it was kind of just like they had that spot solidified. So I was just like, all right, it's time for me to just move around, because I came here to play quarterback. And so I could see that wasn't going to happen. And so when we were playing our season last year, playing against Mississippi, I think was the toughest team that we played defensively. I felt like they was just missing like a piece. And I felt like I was, as a quarterback, I was like, I could be that piece, you know what I'm saying? So that was my motivation to come here. And of course I talked to other teams and stuff, but going in, I felt like they were the most prepared. They're the most ready to win right now. And, I'm up there in age. So, I don't have time to be on a team that's rebuilding. And
Man.
that's I've played for teams where it's like, they don't have especially in the women's game, they don't have the talent or the coaching and stuff like that. So it makes it difficult and it gets dangerous when you get into a situation like that. So I was like, I want to go somewhere where they're ready to go right now. I felt like Mississippi is that team. So, and being here, I see that, you know what I mean? We go to work every day. They've got some athletes out here. So I feel like I'm in the right place and I'm excited.
I love it. Is the Mississippi team, are they all local or staying in there, or do you have any fly-in players?
Nope, they're all local. They some of them travel maybe 3 hours because they're down by the coast, but for the most part, everybody here is from here. So Oh, there's one girl that relocated because she's military, but she former Denver Bandit. She's out here now, Nat Nix. So yeah, I think her and I are one of the two recruits that were picked up in the off season.
Okay. Did they say you talk funny?
Yeah. Well, that's everywhere I go because I'm from the West Coast originally. So
right. Aren't you originally from Seattle?
Yeah. That's been one of the hardest things is everywhere I go, everybody knows I'm not from there. So I'm just
oh, English is based on people from Memphis too. Okay.
Oh yeah, that's right. I'm sorry.
But yeah, you talk funny. You don't talk like you're from Chicago. You definitely ain't from the Midwest. No. You ain't from Texas. You ain't from the East Coast.
You don't know where she's from at this point.
Right. She's from Seattle.
You know you long enough to know you lived in at least half of the 50 states.
I've been to them, shoot. All the traveling that we've done. I mean, Emma, when we played, we traveled all Detroit.
What was our farthest one? Boston? Boston was our farthest?
Yeah. Boston,
Pittsburgh. Boston.
So I feel like I've gone just about everywhere because of football. So I feel like that's pretty cool. I've been to Finland because of football.
Amazing.
Yeah.
I just love sports for that.
I had counted through high school and track. I ran track in 19 states.
Oh wow.
Yes, through high school and college. Yeah, I was like, shit. That's a pretty good. That's a pretty good chunk of them. Yeah.
Yeah, that is.
It takes you around, and it's cool. I'm the only person in my family that's been to Oregon. I mean, look.
Have you ever been to?
I've been to Eugene. I've been to the track at Eugene, but I've seen. You know what I mean? You could have.
Has anyone ever been to Idaho?
No, I haven't. And I actually was because I'm doing a Spartan race. No, I'm doing a Spartan race in Montana, and on the map,
that's another one.
It looks so close, and then when I looked at it, it was 3 hours away. I was like, oh no, we ain't gonna. That's not a side trip. So I can just go across the border and say I've been to Idaho. No.
So when I was driving, because I drove from Seattle to Chicago.
Shit, of course you did.
And yeah, it was 31 hours, and half of that I feel like was in Montana. I was like, am I ever gonna get out of this state?
No. No.
It was forever.
I feel when I drive through Iowa.
Yeah. Yeah.
Iowa. In Iowa, you're just going in a straight line.
Yeah.
There's nothing to look at.
Yeah.
Oh man. But so everyone there obviously makes fun of you for how you talk. Do they also make fun of you for like how you eat? Are you not eating things correctly? Are you not eating the crawfish correctly? Tell me, how is that going with the Southern cuisine?
You guys are literally hitting all of like the things, because I'm actually vegan. So of course it's like the wrong place to be vegan. I mean, I'm in the deep South, so they're just like, what are you gonna eat, some leaves? And I mean, I feel like that's everywhere I go, but yeah. I don't even eat meat, so yeah.
So you're not eating the crawfish then? Man,
No.
man.
Yeah.
You're rejecting the food.
Right. Shoot.
They'll throw parties and stuff, and they're like, "Oh, sorry, we didn't cook for you." I'm like, it's cool.
Damn.
Yeah, I mean that's the West Coast in you coming out. I mean, that's more of a West Coast thing.
Yeah, I feel
a little bit more in the Chicago is getting more popular.
Yeah. There's a lot of places that actually Memphis actually does have like this this lady that she has a food truck, and she cooks nothing but not nothing, but like she's a vegan lady also. So she's got like she cooks with mushrooms, and she like makes Philly cheesesteaks and all kinds of stuff, and it's all plant-based. And I'm like, yeah, I was like, I gotta go there. Like there's a vegan fest that I want to go to. They hit different locations. So they were in Dallas, New York, Miami, Memphis. They just go all over.
Okay. So. Nice. English said we eat the crawfish for her. Yeah. Shoot, I'm about to come down and eat her portion of it. So I got you.
I never had crawfish.
No,
I'm
so
not.
Like
it looks at me.
I used to put it when I make like gumbo for Mardi Gras. I used to put it in there. But yeah, I get people like you that are like, I don't want to eat, I'm scared of crawfish. So now I just use shrimp. But if I make gumbo myself, I want my crawfish in there.
Just take the head off and I'll be okay.
Well, yeah, I usually take the head off for you. Sometimes I will like de-head it for you and toss it in there.
That's Karen. I don't feel as weird.
But have you ever sat there and de-headed a bunch of Look,
absolutely not.
Sounds like, look, I am a vegan.
Absolutely not.
I do not support this.
I am too Chicago for that bullshit.
My ass will absolutely take a crawfish and snap that little puppy head off and get on in there.
It's funny because I have since I've gone to New Orleans, that's the only place in like the South I've been besides like Florida. Do we consider Florida the South? I don't know.
It's special.
It's its own special. It is special. We'll leave it at that. But I went to New Orleans and I just fell in love with like the food. And so like now I'm just like all about like Creole food and cooking. I found like restaurants in Chicago that like the chefs are from there and whatnot. And I'm obsessed. But no, I still have not eaten the crawfish.
Well, Emma, at my Mardi Gras party in a couple of weeks, maybe I'll get a couple crawfish and have some ready just for you. How about that?
Yay! You're gonna take my
Yay! Oh man! But how long is this? She just said no. I'm not even sure what she said no to.
Right. But just no.
No. To anything. But how long has this league been around? Because it's been around for a minute, hasn't it?
This league, I think we're going into our 4th or 5th year. Let me think. I think 2019 was the first year.
That's when it switched.
19, 20, 21, 22, 23. So this is the 5th year.
Oh, she said Florida is not the South. Damn, y'all ain't claiming them either. Oh man, no one
wants to claim Florida. Florida, I don't even know what's wrong with Florida, but nobody wants to claim them. They're not the South. They're not the East Coast. What are they?
Florida,
man.
Florida's Florida, man. So it's been around since like 2019, right? Because Terrence asked this question: why isn't the league well publicized?
I think it's right now, it's in its beginning stages, and actually we're sponsored by Riddell and Adidas. We're also sponsored by Bose. So that was out the gate too. So I mean, the inaugural season, we had those, everybody's outfitted in Adidas. and Rydell helmets and everything like that. So I think that we just have to gain momentum, and we're pushing for that. Our first, or let me think, this was our third championship. We had Marshawn Lynch and Patrick Willis at the championship game, and they have like a fan fest and all this other stuff, and they had it at the Frisco Ford Center. So like where the Cowboys practice and stuff. So it's like it's something that's gaining traction, but of course, you know, the women's sports is something that's usually slow to catch on.
Yeah.
So I think that it's not well publicized. It's just that it's new, and we're still trying to build, you know.
Right. And I like it how like the fan fest, right? Like putting something around it, making it into an event rather than just going to see a game and then leaving.
Right. And they're like combining like flag footballs, because they had like the Texas Fury out there, which is a really like dope girls team that's out there. They had them playing a flag football game, kind of like what you would see like a Pro Bowl type of thing. So they do all that, like the fan fest and the all pro game they do one day, then the next day they do the championship. So it's like a whole event that whole weekend. So
nice. Is that location set, or does that go to the number 1 seed?
I don't know how they picked that actually, because one year they had it in Colorado, and then the next couple years they had it in Texas. I can't remember. So 2020 was canceled. 2021, the last couple years it's been in Texas.
Okay.
But the first year it was in Colorado. So
okay.
I don't know how they.
It might just be like if they got in with the football field down there, like why not have it there?
I think also that Texas is more central for everybody too. So the people from the East Coast and the West Coast, you know what I'm saying? Instead of having to go all the way coast to coast, they can meet. We can all meet in the middle. I think that's another reason why. But that's just my guess. So.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, because like Colorado would be central too. Like no one's making more than a 4-hour flight max, probably 3. Probably 3.
And then travel. I don't know what it is about traveling to like California and stuff. Well, I do, but it's usually really expensive. So I know like WFA actually had we used to have it all the time in Round Rock, Texas, and then they had it in like LA and San Diego, and then another year they had it in Pittsburgh. So. And then, like, when for the All-Star games, you would only get, like, the East Coast players showing up. So, of course, win that All-Star game. Another thing that's cool about what the WNFC did last year is they had a draft for the All-Pro games. So not all of the East Coast players and West Coast players were just split up like that. They got to pick who they wanted on their team. And I was like, that is so dope.
That's cool. I like that. If you do it interactive and stuff, okay. That's the type of thing.
And they picked captains, like they picked the all pros to pick their team. So they were like, this all pro, basically pick your team like we're playing schoolyard football.
Yeah, just down the school. Yeah. I was never picked last. I'm sure neither one of you were ever picked last either.
I have been.
So,
anytime it came to softball, they knew I was trash. I was always last in softball. But soccer, I was first.
I feel like when it came to like when I was in elementary school and when they would split the teams up, because I was the only girl always. So I was always on the shitty team.
Oh.
And then I ended up fighting everybody that was on the good team. Like.
So you're from Seattle originally? That's born and raised?
No, actually, I was born in Germany. My dad's in the military. So
I'll say you better be military then, as everyone's coming. That makes so much more sense. Yeah. Okay, where in Germany were you born?
I was born in South Germany. It's called Göppingen. I don't really know much about it.
Yeah,
it's like
when did you come over?
When I was like 2, because me and my brother were born there, and then my dad came back stateside, and we went straight to Washington. So.
Okay. So you're a dual citizen?
No. Germany doesn't allow dual citizenship. My dad's from there. So, yeah. No, you're one or the other.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're annoying. Okay, so you from Seattle, what was it for you sports growing up, right? Because especially back in the 80s, 90s, we didn't have anything that resembled football for women. So what were you doing? Elementary, middle, high school?
I mean, so first of all, my dad's in the military, so we was always play fighting. and like just doing, I guess, combat activities. So there's a lot of violence going
Mortal
on.
Kombat.
Yeah. So growing up, my first sport that I ever played was tetherball. And
Oh, okay.
like at recess, and then from there it was soccer, and then we just started playing football in like third and fourth grade. Or I'm sorry, fourth and fifth grade. That's when we started being obsessed with football. So we would actually go to school, play football. We'd be playing tackle football, and like the little duties would come out and be like, y'all can't tackle each other. And so we would get up before school started and all meet at the field and like be playing tackle football. And it was crazy. It was like gladiator school. So so we did that before school started. And then people started playing basketball, but I just always played football. Like after that, I would play in the street with my friends and stuff in the neighborhood and stuff. And then we would play like Kill a Man. So it was just, it's like,
right. What is this?
have you heard of like, it's kind of like Smear the Queer, like, somebody has trying to kill that person basically.
Yeah.
So, and then we also used to play, we used to play tag around our whole entire neighborhood, which was huge. So I don't know, we were always doing something active, like running, like exerting ourselves and stuff like that. Fighting, we used to fight a lot. Like in our neighborhood, I had it was mostly boys in my neighborhood. So I'd just be out there fighting and playing football. It's just being crazy. But yeah, that's like pretty much how my love for football started. Because when I started playing, they didn't want to pick me, like I told you, but I still stayed. And I remember one time, one of the guys I was like, throw me the ball, I'm open. He's like, but you don't have any blockers. And I was like, well, what are blockers? And he was like, then he started running and somebody like hit somebody for him. And he was like, that's a blocker. And I was like, oh. But like, they didn't want to teach me. They didn't want to show me, but I kept like coming and showing up or whatever. So I guess it was just like, once we hit fifth grade and fourth grade, some of the guys started playing like organized. And I was like asking my dad, can I play? Because all my friends were playing, and he was like, no. And, I'd break down and cry. And then, so like the next 4 years, I was begging and begging and begging him to let me play. And then finally, like 8th grade, he let me play. And that's when I got my start playing tackle football. So
yeah. You got to play with the boys team then.
Yeah, I mean, there was no girls team.
Well, yeah, that's why. See, this is the issue. Yeah, we used to not have these opportunities, and it would take kids like you to beg their parents to get on the boys teams.
It'd be more than just the kicker, because girls are always the field goal kickers.
Yeah, no, I was a running back. I was a quarterback. I just remember my coach taking me by the back of my horse collar here and put me at free safety and like jerking me around and being like, you got to stay back here, and no one can be behind you, and just like jerking me around and stuff. And the ball got snapped, and he was like, go that way, and like threw me over there. And I was like, okay. So I kind of just like got thrown into it and just learned that way. And I don't know, it was crazy. Just looking back on it, like they wanted me to come back because a girl could go back and play when I went to high school. They were like, can we have her back? Because they know the guys get bigger or whatever. And I wasn't able to play that year, I think, because my grades are bad. But I got him up the next season to play. And me and my brother actually played middle school all the way through high school together.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
Dang. Cool. So you never did any other organized sport then?
No, I was a 3-sport athlete. So I played
football,
basketball. Yeah, football, baseball.
Underestimate her.
Dude, she's
that was the first sport that I actually played. My dad was a baseball player, so he wanted us to play baseball. And so when he started seeing us playing football and we wanted to play, I think that he kind of was like, he didn't want us to play football because he wanted us to play baseball. So when I started asking about football, he was just like, why do you guys want to play football, But he saw that we weren't like changing our minds. So he was just like, all right, go ahead. So I feel like.
Did you ever do softball or just baseball?
Once I got to high school, my mom was like, why don't you try fast pitch? And I was like, fine. So growing up, I would play shortstop, pitcher, outfield,
utility. Yep.
Second base. Yeah. And when I got to high school, I actually played catcher, and they were they were like, we need a catcher, and I was like, okay, I'll see what it's about. And they started feeding it through the little thing, and it was like, thump. and it was flying through the thing, and I was like, oh my God, no, I'm not doing that. And I was like, 'cause the ball was coming so fast, and then I was just like, okay, I'll try. I'll give it a try. And then like, I was always such a bad student in school. So I got to play a little bit, but then they were like, "You're in what is it, academically ineligible?"
Ineligible.
Yeah. So like I was a really good catcher, but then I had to stop because of that. I had to get my grades up. So
Mm-hmm.
and that was spring. So I was like, I definitely got to get my grades up so I can play football. So I would always anchor down and get that handled or whatever, so I could go back and play football. But yeah, I don't know, something about school.
It's not your jam.
No.
Hey.
I mean, but at least you had something to motivate you. Because,
Yep.
like, if you didn't have that, like, athletic outlet, like, maybe you would have flunked out, or something like that.
Yeah.
Like,
I actually did one year. I got straight F's, and my dad was like, "What the fuck is this?" And I was like, I don't know. Next year I got like A's and B's, and I just really, I just did. I was one of those kids. I wasn't the type of learner to learn in the classroom setting like that. I was more of like a hands-on type of
Same.
person. So it was really tough for me. I really had to apply myself, but I always wanted to go.
You had to learn. Like, I think, like, it kind of sucks if, like, when kids don't become eligible, like me as like a teacher and stuff, like seeing like kids struggle with that in our middle school. But it's like that gives them the motivation to at least try. Like if they didn't have that outlet that they like that was their place they need to be, that was their comfort place, but they know they couldn't do that if they put the minimum amount of effort in.
Yeah.
And that at least gives you that motivation to like, okay, I need to do at least something. I need to figure this out, problem solve, forces me to problem solve. And then, then we hit two birds with one stone. If I get my grades up, I can do what I love to do, like if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Well, I could tell you right now, I was just not a good student. But also like, also I just learned different too. So it was like when something got away from me, like as far as like math or something like that, I was like, oh man, it's too late for that. Like I kind of just would be like, all right, it's over with. But I really did try because I wanted to play football. But some things I was just like algebra sucked.
Yeah, and that's the thing too.
Yeah,
I liked math, so sorry. But
not my thing.
But it's also like because sports does do well with people that learn that kinesthetics type learner. It gives you the confidence that you can learn, right? Because you could learn how to play football, you could learn how to play baseball. So it's like you're not an idiot, right? Like you can learn. You can get your confidence up. You are able to do something. It just might not be, that algebra, right? It's more the physical type things. And that's, another thing why 2A sports and extracurriculars in general are so important, because it's like kids need to see that like there are other things that you can do in life besides just study. And, a lot of us can't sit still well. And we just, it's like, you tell me audio learning is like what? In 1 year, straight out the other. I don't know what's going on. I'm like, what?
That was one thing that I really learning football, because it can be intimidating, especially when you're the only girl. Like when I first started playing, is watching somebody do something and then mimicking them.
Yeah.
Like that was how I learned. So I think that's why I caught on so fast to football. But I remember one time we were in a line and we were doing ladder drills, and we're in high school, and like the coach was like, all right, we're going to do this. And I guess it was like the icky shuffle or something like that. And nobody knew how to do it. His son knew how to do it because, that's his son. So he went and did it all fast and everything. And then everybody else was like messing the ladder up. And I was like, Coach, I don't know how to do it, so I'm going to go slow. And he was like, all right. Yep. And so I went slow and did it. And then every single person behind me went slow after that.
Yep.
And I was looking like, so sometimes it just takes one person to speak up. And I thought that was pretty cool. I was like, dang, I wonder if I would have never said nothing, we all just be over here tearing this ladder up.
Just doing that. Yeah, because that's like one of those drills where it looks super cool when you do it fast, but like you need to do it slow to do it correctly.
There goes your breakthrough into being a leader too.
Yeah, exactly. Sure. Yeah, and then you get the rhythm down, and so when everyone's on the same rhythm, you can like kind of do the count in your head or whatever it is, and then you can just speed it up.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's definitely one of those drills where I know, like, if I got off rhythm on that one, it's over. I might as well just go back to the beginning of the line, because once you take a misstep, you're like, yikes.
Yeah.
So so high school, we're playing free safety, we're playing running back, we're playing receiver, we're playing quarterback too. I mean, everything. Just trying everything. And what was it about quarterback that you loved so much? Was it the throwing or was it the leadership?
I don't know. I think my dad being an athlete, my dad, he would have been a Major League Baseball player, but I guess the year that he was going to join or, go into the draft, they went on strike. So,
yeah, 81, 82, 81 or 82.
Yeah, I'm not sure. He tried out for the Cincinnati Reds.
Mm-hmm.
He tried out for a couple other teams. I can't remember the ones he told me, but just watching my dad be an athlete, I just wanted to be just like my dad, and like so I wanted to be a pitcher, even though I think he was an outfielder. I don't know why I was so attracted to those spots, but yeah, when I played baseball, I wanted to pitch. Playing football, quarterback, I guess I was just attracted to that position. I don't really know why, but it was just like something that I wanted to do, throw the ball. So
that's fair.
It's like the golden position, right? Every kid grows up being a quarterback. So you actually did it.
Yeah, I mean, and like, being able to run the ball and just go out for passes too is fun and everything. But I don't know, there's something about, I guess, just the role in itself. You have to know what everybody else is doing on top of, doing your job and just breaking things down. I don't know. It's just.
Well, you're really in charge. I remember, like, I played competitive travel volleyball growing up in high school also. And I'm the smallest person on the court, right? Like, everyone's like, oh, you're a libero, aren't you? You're definitely a libero. And I'm like, no, I'm a setter. And they're like, how are you a center? I said, because I'm like the quarterback. I want to be the quarterback on the court. So it's like you're in charge out there. It's such a powerful position. And that's why there's a reason why that position is like the most idolized position in all of football, right? Like it's like you are the man. And in volleyball, like the center was in charge. So I was like, that is definitely my spot. Like
and you touch the ball every play, you know what I mean? And so it's
literally.
Yeah, and I think maybe that just comes down to competitiveness. You want to be like that. Is control. So it's like I'm touching the ball. I'm distributing the ball where it needs to go, like that type of thing, and putting the team in a position to win. So, I mean, everybody has to do their part, but it's just like
And that is kind of like I never like playing like receiver or something. It was just there's only one ball. Right. Yeah. And so there's X number of receivers. On a great day, you're going to get the ball, 5 times? All these plays is like you're just running routes or you're clearing out or you're trying to get open, or like you go into a play and you know that you're like the 4th read, right? So like the likelihood of you getting the ball is low. But when you're on defense, like, you know what I mean? When you're playing linebacker or corner, safety, you don't know where the ball is going. So every single play, you can have an impact. And that's why I like playing defense.
Yeah. Or you could be like Travis Kelce and get 14 touches in one game.
Okay, I'm saying normal, you know what I mean? Normal thing.
Right.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah.
But I love defense too. And it's like you're two different people when you're on either side of the ball. Like offense is like you got to think, and it's a thinking. Once you get it down, of course, you're second nature, but defense is more reactive and just, instinctual. And so when I notice that with myself, when I'm playing safety or linebacker or whatever I'm playing on defense, I'm like a psychotic person. Like I'm totally different than when I'm playing quarterback. You have to be like here when you're a quarterback, you're ahead. You can't get outside of yourself at all. But when you're on defense, you just control chaos, you know what I mean? Like
I think that's why I like it too. You can have big emotions on defense, right?
For sure.
I'll never forget when Coach Konecki said defense is just a bunch of people chasing out after dogs chasing after a tennis ball.
Really?
And so like now that I play defense for the Blitz, I'm just like, that's what I think about. I'm just like, yeah, we're all just chasing after this one little ball. We're just in a little huddle.
Yep. See the ball, get the ball.
And honestly, as a track sprinter, it was an easy transition because it was like just, especially like man car, just chase him, go get him, don't let him go. Okay, that's an easy assignment. And then from there, you actually learn everything else. But yeah, it is like my very like instinctual, like don't let that like safety, don't let no one gets behind you. All right, don't gotta tell me twice. You know, like it's just that. Yeah, all you have to do is just worry about that.
Right. And that's the easiest way to teach somebody when they're playing defense. Like that's exactly what my coach did for me. He was like, don't let nobody behind you. And then the ball was over there. And he's like, go get it. And like threw me over there. I was like, and
yeah, it's like every play you could possibly get an interception or get a tackle or knock a ball away. You just never know. Where it's like receiver, you're like, that was me, I'm open. You know.
I love defense.
Yeah, I do too.
That transition to defense, I feel so much more powerful. Like being a receiver, running back, that was cool. And then when I actually got used to what defense was and just feeling the power of being able to stop somebody, just like against their will, you're just like, God damn, I just did that. Like it just feels so powerful.
Getting like a fourth down stop is like one of the greatest feelings in the world. You're like, ha ha.
I swear.
Are you playing with the Bliss?
So the league has canceled this year.
Oh wow. Dang.
Yeah, I don't know. They claim it's something to do with the new investor is making demanding changes that take longer than the 4 months we have before the season was supposed to start. So I hope that's true because that would be great to have like an investor involved. So we'll see. But yeah, no, we don't have a season this year.
Okay.
So, you want to go down to Mississippi on weekends?
I've never been.
How late is it to add someone to the roster?
I don't know if I'll fit in Mississippi.
We're still accepting players. Yeah.
I got the time. I would if I could. If I wasn't coaching soccer, I would definitely. But no, I got time.
It's such a big commitment, and for me, I feel like it never stops. Like I have been doing this like all like my life pretty much, I feel like, and the off season is the time where you just get back in shape to just do it all over again, you know what I mean, and fundraise and all the stuff that comes with it.
English said you can come to the Panthers. Running back stock is taken
right here. I said you don't gotta worry about that because I play strong safety now. So we all good. TV, strong safety, free safety. I like defense now.
I'm quite retired, so I'm pushing 40 years old. We good.
Sherry, you don't play flag no more?
No, because I got that bad concussion like 5 years ago. I haven't stepped onto a field since. Yeah.
Okay, I didn't even know that. Dang.
Yeah, I took a nap on the field.
We retired the same season.
I took a. We did, yeah. No, I took a.
And we both retired because of concussions.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I was unconscious for 5 minutes. They had to take me off on a stretcher. I couldn't see faces. Nothing was clear. I got shook. So
this was in A2?
Yeah. So like Sid, and then they're like, yeah, you're never playing again. And I was like, that's probably smart. So yeah, no, I don't play anymore. I just be out here.
Yeah, Shannon had to carry me off the field.
Yeah, dramatics. Yeah. Oh, I had a seizure too.
Dramatics.
So, I had a seizure with mine too. So I went like extra dramatic just for like the extra little flair.
The worst part is about my concussion. So I was such a fucking idiot. So my concussion, my last flag game, it was the week before we went to DC. It was like the first game of the season and we won. I think we were still on the team. Were you still on the team then, or was that the year?
Is this 2017?
I don't know if this was 16 or 17. But
it would have been last time I played was fall of 2017.
So it was 17 then, because I remember we had our first game coming up. It was against DC Divas and big game, right? Mm-hmm. And like defending champions, got blacked out concussion the weekend before. And I was like, I can't miss this fucking game. My dumb ass. I sat out all week, didn't practice, and then went and played in that game and then scored the first touchdown of the fucking game. And we won that game. So I was like, oh, I got lucky.
You're lucky you didn't get hit, or else you'd be a Tua out there. Like,
right.
It is not that serious. Jesus Christ. But that was fucking stupid of me.
Emma, did y'all win that game?
We did.
Oh, wow.
We did. We won it. It went down to the wire. But yeah. I remember I was the first receiving touchdown of that game off a little rocket route.
Yeah.
They call that. I was like,
Nice.
all right, cool. The coach trusts me. Yes. Yes. Konecki's wild. I love him though.
So how long after, playing in high school and stuff, did you get into like the women's tackle leagues? Like, did you do flag first? Was there leagues like right out of high school, or how long did you have to wait to get into them?
That's the thing. I went straight from high school to playing for the women's team. My mom,
Okay.
yeah, she came and she was like, I found this team, and she like showed me a newspaper, and was like, look, this team. And at that time they were called the Tacoma Majestics.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was actually a senior in high school, and this was their season again is in springtime. So I was still in high school. So I went and tried out for them, made the team, and my mom signed a waiver for me to play because I was 17. And I just went straight from playing in high school to playing, in the women's semi-pro. So it was a smooth transition. I didn't play flag. I actually didn't start playing flag until like 2009 or something like that. In like the off season, and me and my brother would play for fun or whatever. But Chicago's actually when I started like competing. Like when we played and we had Goon Squad mixed with Force, and we got our bid paid for to go to nationals. That's like my first time going like to nationals.
Okay.
So
fun.
And
was
man,
it was our second year.
You said what?
I'm trying to think of nationals because me and Sherry went. No, that's 2 years after we went.
We went like 8 years ago or something, 9 years ago, something wild, according to Facebook memories. It was a long time ago.
I met Sherry at nationals. I went to nationals with a co-ed team. I didn't know nobody at the time because I was like newish to the league. Like people
nobody knew anybody.
I drove in a van, Santa van for 8-10 hours with people that I don't really know going down to fucking Florida. Sherry just happens to be in the car. And we're like, hey, want to be friends?
I wasn't in the van going down to Florida. I flew. But
okay, I was in the van.
Yeah, you might have been in that van, but I said hi to you when you got down there.
So Force was 2 years after that because it was us on the co-ed team, and then we made Sub-Zero the following. That was the first ever women's team to go down there. By the way, me and Sherry, our history, we started the women's football in Chicago for flag. By the way,
I heard they're stopping it.
I don't know nothing about that. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know that either.
My time has come and gone. But and then the following year we transitioned into Force, or we merged or whatever. So
that was me. That's when I came because Dorian was like, "Let me show you," and like came out there, and it was Goon Squad, and then I was like, I brought the tackle girls out there, and then we became a team. Then we won it all, and we got our bid paid to nationals. We should have won that first year, but we lost by like a technicality or something like that.
Didn't we?
Yeah.
Second that year, right? Yeah.
The next year we had to go through this crazy gauntlet to get back in it because we lost, and it was like you had to play like 20 games to get back into whatever, and we just crapped out. Like we were exhausted. It was crazy. And then
because it's double elimination, wasn't it?
That was
once, and then we lost. Did we lose to the same team twice?
No, I think we did capital punishment. And then
we ended up getting like third or fourth, I believe, that year.
I don't even remember. That's like all a blur.
It was exhausting. We were dead.
Yeah.
Dead.
And then like the few years that I went when I was in Texas, I actually would drive to Florida.
Well,
So
how far was that drive?
That's a 16-hour drive.
Let's say that's still far as shit.
It's far.
It's far as shit. Texas is big. It takes you 6 hours to get out of Texas.
It is big.
Depending on where you are.
I'd always be looking for alligators on the way there, though.
You find any?
No. One time we went to this alligator sanctuary thing.
Oh, Gatorland? Yeah, I've been to Gatorland. That place is...
I don't know if that's what it was, but yeah, we finally just like went and saw them.
Yeah.
Oh my God. They're huge.
So you were in Seattle. What brought you to Chicago?
So, oh my gosh, there's so much. So you know Jamie Fornell?
Yeah, who I was asking you about before. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. So Jamie Fornell, I met her in California because we had like all-star game out there, and I recruited her to play in Seattle. And she's originally from Indiana, so she went to Indiana. And she was like, "You got to come out here because Chicago needs a quarterback. And I was like, I'm only coming if they really need. I know, right? It's like the dots and everything.
Connecting all the dots, right?
I was just like, I was kind of like feeling like I'd grown up in Seattle. I thought I would never leave though. So one day she was like, you should come out here. She was like, they need a quarterback. And I was like, I'll really come if they need a quarterback. And she was like, they do. And I just packed all my stuff and left. And I had like a little coupe car, and I drove through the mountains with that car and everything, 31 hours and went. And there I was in Chicago. So I moved for football. I went there. It was tough at first, but I had a lot of support around me, which was nice. And just made it happen. And it was like it was the dopest move I think I ever made in my life.
What year was that?
This was 2000. It was the end of 2014. So November 2014, I left. And that was for the 2015 season. And I stayed till 2016.
Yeah. Okay. So it was Jamie. Okay.
Yep.
I had no idea.
It's funny because, when they folded, they were saying they were going to, close down shop. I was like, dang, I'm not done playing. I want to win a championship. So I went to Dallas, Texas, and, I hit Jamie up and I was like, come on, let's go. And so we both kind of met down in Dallas and we won a ring out there. And she went to Denver. I stayed in Dallas, and then she went back to Chicago. So, but I actually just saw her last weekend in Florida, and it's been a while, so it was really good to see her.
Yeah, I haven't seen her in forever.
Yeah, she's back in Chicago. I've seen her a couple times now.
It was good seeing everybody, man. Like, I haven't seen so many people from Chicago, and I played for fives non-contact, fives contact, and six contact. All Chicago teams, and so it was cool. It was cool to see everybody and just play.
Yeah.
Play 50,000 games in 3 days.
And so, and one of your you've won a lot of things. You've been on a bunch of teams. You have we haven't even talked about the national team that you played for, the USA team. Can you talk about that one a little bit?
So actually, they have the first
Lon
one.
says you played great in Florida, by the way. Hey girl.
Thank you. Thank you, Lon. The first one that they ever had was 2011, I think, or 2010. I'm sorry, and they picked that team off of paper, and I made alternate, and I was pissed about that. But that's a whole nother story. But the next year they actually had a tryout. Not the next year, 2013. They actually had a physical tryout in Texas. I made that team. We went to Finland. We won gold. And then they had another tryout for the 2017 team. I had just moved to Dallas, so I actually didn't try out for that team. But they actually went to Renton, which is Renton, Washington. I was so pissed. I was like, damn, man, they went to my home city.
I tried out for that team.
You said what?
I tried out for that team in 2017.
Yeah, and then also all the swag and their uniforms and everything were all nice and everything. I was like, dang,
it was dope. I know. I was mad as fuck I didn't make it.
And then they went to BC.
What was it like playing for Team USA overseas?
It was so amazing. Like, I felt like I had worked my whole entire career for that, and to be able to go somewhere, show up and try out and show the coaches, that I deserve to be on this team, and actually be picked. And that was an amazing feeling. And that was actually like a turning point in my football career. I feel like so many things opened up for me then. And then I also was networking with players, because before that I had like a mentality of, I had a tribal mentality. So I was like, fuck everybody, my team versus everybody. After that, I was like, okay, we're together, we're a sorority, like this is sister from another team, you know what I mean? So I kind of looked at it differently, and then I also bonded with so many different people, and that's where I actually met Coach Konecki, and I was like, I want to play for him. Like, he to me was like Lombardi. He was like Pat Summit. Like, he's crazy. I like coaches like that are just, know their shit, and they have this and this for you to do, and you got to be here. He didn't take any excuses, so he was intense, and I really liked that. And that was another selling point for, like, Jamie getting me to come play. It was like, I wanted to play for Konecki. And so when I went there, I learned a lot from him. I learned sign language, because we did everything with signs and stuff like that, and just tempo, offense, like just all types of concepts. So that was really like a cool moment in my life and just in my football career. So it really opened my horizons to everything. I knew people internationally at that point. So I've had offers to go play overseas, you know.
Dang.
And there's a chick that I know, Leah Kazaz. I don't know if you know her, Emma, but she played for Michigan.
I don't know.
And she plays over there. She lives over there now. She just got her citizenship.
Oh, nice.
Like, dang, that's what's up. So she's in like Finland, just living her best life, playing football over there. So
that's wild.
Yeah. So then also I tried out for the team this past season and made that team, but I just wasn't able financially to go with the team. So yeah, no,
expensive.
It's expensive, and then they like tell you like 3 months before that you need, $6,000 to raise.
Oh shit! Yeah,
it's very stressful, especially with the inflation. I was like, I'm not gonna stress myself out. I can't. So it was nice to make the team, and so I got.
Know that you still got it.
Right? Yeah. Is that an every other year thing?
Yeah. So I think it's 3 years. I feel like they do.
Okay.
Because it was 2010.
Yeah, because with COVID, everything gets messed up. So
they kind of been. I don't know, because 2013 to 2017, that's 4 years. So
yeah,
I don't know how they
well, maybe it should.
I wish they would do every other, because, well, I guess that would kind of get really expensive though. But I wish they would find some kind of way to just make it.
Yeah, it's kind of like the World Cup, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it could be. Yeah, a lot of those championships are on a four-year schedule. So
maybe if they could just knock it down to 2, because the way you age out of football is way faster than like soccer or baseball or any other sport. It's a combat sport, so it would be nice if they had a different, schedule or whatever.
Yeah.
You can still get the next one. Your ass, I'm sure you'll still be in shape.
I've never gone for quarterback. Actually, my first year, the 2013 year, I went for quarterback and they put me at corner.
Oh.
So
I mean, you're such an athlete though, and that's the thing. Like, sometimes you just have utility player athletes where it's like you might be the best quarterback out there, but you're also the best cornerback, and the second best quarterback is better than the second best cornerback. You know what I mean? So it's like balancing the players. It's not necessarily like, she's not the best quarterback, but it's like we can use this woman at QB, but like as you know, on defense you can't hide. And so if you don't have someone to play corner, you don't have someone to play safety, you have to go at a certain point, like you have to make sure that that's locked up too.
For sure.
So, with these utility players that can do everything, it's like, well,
if I'm still around and they have another tryout, and I'm going to go as quarterback, and I'm going to, because, the game now, I mean, I see so many athletes coming up, and I'm just like, the game has really grown, and it's exploded in the flag world, but the tackle world is also, I'm seeing it. There's so many great athletes, and we're getting them younger. So I'm excited for women's football. Like,
it is, because we're getting to the top of the hour, and that was actually what I was just about to ask you is, what are you seeing, as the evolution of women's football, flag and tackle?
Just IQ. Oh my God, when I was out there for flag, they had the women's gauntlet. It was nonstop action. I was like hooked to the freaking like game that I was watching. I think it's fives, but a gauntlet is basically they just play back to back to back to back, and they just eliminate each other. Do you know who Ava Wallace is?
I don't think so.
Quarterback. She used to play for Texas Fury, and she's playing for like Lights Out. I don't know. She's all over the place, but she's really good. She's like the next up and coming quarterback, and she's been playing since she was in her early teens. So and playing in women's divisions. Their team has been playing against women all over Texas and all whatever tournaments that they do. So watching her and her team play against like the Florida women, it was like, I can't even describe to you. Every time I'm like in the back of the end zone watching, she sends a receiver on like a post or over or something like that, and the other girl, it's basically man coverage, is on her like white on rice, and she's diving out the back of the end zone like toe tapping. This shit was crazy. I was just like, these girls are freaking good, and she's putting the ball on the money. And I'm like, y'all might want to scoot back because there's people watching, and I'm like, y'all are too close. They're like out. So there's that, and then I feel like the South is like the SEC, like even in the women's game. So Texas, Bama, Mississippi, we're all like heavy hitters. You know what I'm saying? And you've just got the prototypes now. Like you've got the defensive end that's 6 feet tall, that's long, you know what I'm saying? And then she's gonna like come rip your face off. We've got one named Ida Edwards on our team, and I'm just like, she made me look like a fool last year. I was like going one-on-one with her as a running back. I thought I had help from my tackle, and like she just went that way, and I was like, oh shit. I just have the utmost respect for her. But just most of these athletes out here, I mean, we have lockdown corners, like people that are running the alley. Jamie Locke, like I was talking about, I mean, she brings a hit stick with her. Like women aren't afraid to hit. Like I know when I was first playing, especially in Seattle, I felt like it was hard because I had been playing with dudes. So going to playing with women, I was just like, wow, okay. But the game has evolved so much since then. And I even see it in women's basketball. So I'm seeing it across the board with women's sports. And I'm just loving it just to be able to see it in real time.
Yeah, 100%.
It's wild. Like you look at like the opportunities of sports that are like, you know, I wish I had those opportunities in high school.
Yeah.
And it's like, I mean, I was a D1 athlete, right? I ran track at Penn State, but like I would have loved to play flag football in the fall.
Man.
You know, like I'm thinking like my team was like one of the top 10 teams in the country for track. Like we were fucking fast. If we had one girl that could throw, we would have been lights out. You know what I mean? Because it's like all those fucking athletes. Like, oh,
I actually got offered a scholarship
fun
to play flag football at St. Mary's in where is it? Kansas City?
Yeah.
One of my friends, Jelly, actually got the head coaching job there. It's a private school though, and I was like, I wasn't able to do it, but
and the
just
NAIA,
knowing
right?
And just knowing that that's an opportunity for young women now. I mean, that is so, it's amazing. Like I couldn't imagine how that would have made me feel as a young woman growing up. Like I have an opportunity to actually get a scholarship. Like that's crazy. So
yeah, it's a lot. I mean, like I do absolute course racing now. Like, man, if we had this when I just got out of college, when I was like still like fresh as hell with my legs, you know what I mean? Like American Ninja Warrior didn't come out, you know, until I was like, again, like I know people doing that, and it's like but like young women now.
Yes.
You see these, and then you also see different types of women with different types of background doing these. So it's not like a mold of like, oh, well, I'm not a gymnast or a pole vaulter, so I can't, do like ninja stuff. Like, no, like spinners can do, like anyone. And so I love to see the more opportunities that younger women are getting.
There's a show out on Netflix called 100 Body Types or something like that. And it's like a Korean show, but they have all these people, male, female, that come out there, and it doesn't matter if you're a bodybuilder, jiu-jitsu, whatever your background is, somebody's a dancer. And they put their bodies to the test and like see who's the strongest person. And it's pretty cool. I was watching it and I thought I was going to binge watch it, but there's like 3 episodes and I was like, oh. But it's really good though. And it just shows, I don't know. It's really cool. It's a show I would recommend.
Okay. I'll have to check that out. Yeah. I love it. There was like a podcast I was listening to, like the evolution of kind of MMA, how that started, where it originally started with people from different, like the sumo wrestler against the karate person against the kickboxer, and it was the Brazilian jiu-jitsu person that destroyed everyone. And so that's why when you look at like UFC and MMA, the ground game is everything. Because they kind of did that ultimate fighting. The first one, it was like most people went to the hospital because they didn't have any rules. But like, so we won't do it that way. But it is, kind of that whole thing of like, but the evolution of sport, and I love to see that, like, what skills are transferable, right? What can you take from here to be good at this? And there's like, but even just like, like I do bouldering, like the rock climbing one, and watching some of the crowds, like the guys I was climbing with last night, like I would see one do this route one way. I'm like, okay. And I'll watch Leo do it. And he'll do it a completely different way. And I'm like, huh. How? You know what I mean? But it's just so cool. Like I love to see, like, you get the same result, different paths or different skill sets that they like. This guy can do this guy can do that. And so it gives you hope, right? Because I'm short, right?
No,
So if I see the
rock
6
is
foot,
hard.
yeah. Look, I only do V3s, but you know what I mean. You see things that like a tall person's do, but they see
Oh,
someone
yeah.
short, and then you're like, oh,
Yeah.
there is room for. Because then you see the tall guy struggling on something because he's too fucking tall. So you're like,
Yeah.
ah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I love the just evolution of sports, and I love that young women now can look at sports as a whole
Mhm.
and just really choose from so many different things that will do so many different I mean, look at Brazilian jiu-jitsu. Like that wasn't around really when we were growing up. It was like
Mhm.
karate or nothing, right? And but now you have a whole nother style out there.
Well,
Yeah.
going off that, like, it's also interesting to see how long it took these sports to get popular. Because, like,
That
take
part.
women's tackle football, for example. That
Mhm.
shit has been around for decades. These leagues have been
Yeah.
around for decades. I joined the
Mhm.
force in 2016. That was my first, like, tackle experience, right? After playing flag for, like, 8 whatever years. And those girls that I came onto with the veterans, they've been playing that shit for 10 years. And you're
Mhm.
like, well, damn. And we still don't have the fucking publicity or the people don't know about us. You know, we were playing for like at a high school, you know, in front of our family and friends. And now look at where it's come. And this is now what are we at 5 years later? Look how
So
much it blew up. Like it took that long just for like people to even recognize it.
social media has had a lot to do with,
Mhm.
just pushing that in marketing and things like that. But also the league prior to that, and I don't want to knock any league because I feel like they all gave us the opportunity to go ahead and do what we wanted, our passion to do.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So I never knocked that. But the only thing I will say is that I don't feel like they was pushing for the sport and for women to go any further.
Mhm.
This league is actually pushing, for pay and wanting to like
Mhm.
evolve the sport, to where, one day we get paid, we're marketed like the men are, like that's the difference between the way we watched the sport, how it's seen, the stories that are told, like that's what they're trying to get
Yeah,
to.
social media is huge. And just also, I mean, what was Sid saying? Flag football has been a sport in like Georgia for girls for like 10 years. We're just getting it in Illinois. But yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, once you get the younger generations in there, it goes around with the social media. It's everything, right? It's more
Yeah.
exposure.
And NFL's starting to endorse flag.
Yep.
They are
Yes.
endorsing flag. So
Yeah, they had that for the Pro Bowl this year. Like, because
Yeah.
people don't want to tackle, they're fucking playing flag. I
Well,
love that.
I do too. I can't wait to see it. And my friend
know.
Anita is actually coaching the flag football team.
Oh, is she?
Yeah.
Oh,
That's
shit.
She is
dope.
the top. She is the top quarterback in the world. Like she's a USA flag football quarterback. Like they've
Mhm.
had back to back to back, championships. I think last year Mexico won, but I mean, prior to that they were like undisputed champs. So
That's
I'm happy
awesome.
for her. Yeah, they're getting exposure, and women are in the process getting exposure as well because it's I think it's the Mexico quarterback and her that are both coaching the team. So
Oh, this is dope.
Okay. That's
Yeah.
nice.
I'm
I
excited
love that.
about it.
I
Yeah.
love that for us women.
Yeah.
Specifically, but just us women in general. Because like, it's always weird to think like, oh, I was like a trailblazer. Like, you're like thinking I'm just one person, but literally, like, we've all been playing this for so long, and like now there's opportunity, and that comes with the time, right? The social media is bigger, the TikToks here, like it comes with that. Back then, like we had that, but it wasn't like the market. We didn't know how to market
Right.
us.
No.
We didn't have the people interested in us to market us, or they help fund the marketing and whatnot. And so, like with the technology changing and with the younger generation coming in, like it all just kind of correlates and goes with that growth. So like it's exciting. I love it. I just love
it too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Final 2 questions.
Okay.
I got 2 for you. Okay. One for I already know the goal for this year is championship or bust, but what are you doing for yourself to help get there?
So for myself personally, I want to make sure that my diet is sufficient. So I have to make sure that I'm eating complete meals and just making sure my protein is up and getting enough sleep and things like that, and getting up and working out and working on my craft. Like right now I'm studying. I'm in the lab, you know, like breaking down defenses and things like that, and then working on my mechanics as a quarterback. So I'm very, very it's crazy because I was never a good student, but when it comes to football, I'm so fucking locked in. Like that is what I love. So I'm anything that I can control, I'm going to control it and try to you know, excel or push to be greater. So yeah, right now it's just, you know, I'm conditioning and practicing. We have practice twice a week right now. So we had a really good practice last weekend. So I'm on a high confidence wise. Also coming back from Florida, it was like I played 15 games in 3 days. So I feel like my arm is conditioned. You know what I mean? So I just, yeah, I want to push myself to the threshold. I just want to keep pushing myself, and that's really what I'm doing to prepare.
I love it. I love it. And now for your final question. I'm going to hold this one to you. Who do you have winning the Super Bowl this year?
I'm gonna say the Bengals.
You're going the Bengals.
Yeah.
Why?
Joe Burrow. Because Joe Burrow, man, I don't think anybody. They got a complete team. And I just feel like the way they spanked the Bills, I was like, oh my gosh.
Right.
That was surprising.
Yeah, I think they just have it. And I feel like the Bills were going to be the hardest team that they played, and they just bent them over like that. I was like, oh, no, they got it.
In the snow at home, like, yay.
Because Purdy is a backup.
Third string.
Yeah, so I'm like, they just got out of that game.
They play at KC this weekend, but Mahomes has a high ankle sprain.
He's hurt.
So.
Yeah, and he's hurt. So yeah, I definitely got my money on Burrow.
And you have Burrow over that Eagles defense?
I got her.
Hold up. Dang. That's tough. I think I gotta play rock, paper, scissors. He's been there before. My heart is with Jalen, but my head is gonna go with Burrow. Because he's been there before. He's been there before.
Okay.
That's what I'm gonna leave it at. I'm gonna leave it at that.
Mic drop.
Yeah.
Full disclosure, I'm going for the Bengals too. But I don't want to give I gotta lead you to that answer. Because the Eagles are tough. And I think with Mahomes out, I just don't he's
it's gonna be
the last game. Yeah, I mean, playing against Jacksonville, their defensive line is nowhere near as good and as fast and as strong as the Bengals game is, or the Bengals line is. They're going to be limited. So we'll see. But yeah, I'm going for the Bengals too. Bengals over the Eagles. I thought it was going to be the Bills. Honestly, I didn't think the Bengals could get. I did not think the Bengals could get past the Bills, and so I had said on here before, Bills, Eagles. But now it's like, man, we got a new sheriff in town, and his name is Joe Burrow.
Yep. Emma, who you got?
Oh, I was gonna say the Bengals too. My money was all on the Bills. That's crazy. I can't believe it.
Yeah, I was shocked. I didn't get to watch that game. I was actually at practice, and I was like watching we went to Buffalo Wild Wings to watch the night game, and I was like, oh wow, they got spanked like that. I was like,
yeah,
that was a shocker.
Of course, Mahomes always has my heart, but watching him play injured last week was so painful to watch. Like, it just made me cringe every time he tried to move. I'm like, yep. And I've had that exact injury. So I'm just like, yeah, I was on crutches.
Yeah, it's going to be hard because, I mean, it's one thing to play the day of, but once that swelling starts to move through and everything, and it's going to be harder to do it the second week rather than the day of.
Yeah, they say having a broken ankle is actually like better than having a high ankle. So
you can even just take that up and go. That's a struggle.
Nope.
They're gonna be giving him some shots.
Shoot, they're gonna give him shots of shit that we don't even heard about yet. They got that new shit.
Some LT.
Oh man. But thank you so much for coming on. It has been a pleasure. You've been in the back of my mind of someone to like jump on, and as soon as I saw you signing with the Mississippi team, I was like, perfect timing. Love it. So thank you so much for coming on.
Yeah, I miss you. Come back to Chicago.
I will. All
right, girl. Bye.
Bye.
Hey,
that's fun.
Yes, I know, bringing back the fourth time, but
I know it's been so long.
Yeah, but all right,
that's
my dear.
Take share.
I know. Thanks for joining me. I know you ignoring my text yesterday morning, but I'm glad that I texted you.
I don't know how I didn't see it because I was sitting. I was
like
12 hours.
Hey, bitch. You never not respond to me. It was like literally 12 hours. I was like,
I didn't even see this like all day. Didn't even see it.
I think I sent that thing to you, the video on Instagram where the dude was like, hey, best friend on the Ring camera. Where are you? I was about to do that to you. Like, pay attention to me.
I like looked at the time when you were like, so no response. And I was like, does this say like 8 in the morning? Well, who's on next week? We got a hint. Fill us in here. What you got
Working on some stuff for February. So that's all I'm going to say. I got some calls in for some people trying to get a couple sports, and I'll see what I got in the hopper coming up. I'm always trying to branch out. So I'm going to see.
I got an idea for you. So we'll talk back next stage.
I love some ideas. But on that note,
this has been a Chicago Clubhouse Network production.